Get ready to discover answers in the Bible with Bayless Conley.
And then the first part of verse 17, that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And certainly there's the idea there of praying for the awareness of Christ's presence in your life, but I think there's more than that. The word dwell means to settle down, to settle in, and to make a permanent home. I remember when I went to college. Now, once I left home, I traveled around and lived in a few different states, and I eventually ended up in college up in Oregon. And I remember my first day, I actually lived in a dormitory for a year. And walked in the room of my assigned, dorm, and there's a guy, he's gonna be my roommate, sitting on one of the beds, and he was as different from me as you could imagine. He's got a military haircut. His clothing is way different than mine, and I am Mr. Hippie that's just walked into the room. I have very, very long hair. My clothes were radically different than his, and I dragged in a piece of driftwood that I had in my car, and I put it up in the room. I had this old ripped painting I'd got in a yard sale like 5 years before that I dragged all over creation. I put up this old ripped painting. I hauled all my records in, then I ripped off my shirt, and I flopped down on my bed. And I could tell he was freaking out, but I didn't say anything to him. We later became friends. His name was Joe. Actually, we became good friends, and Joe confided in me one day. He says, "Bayless, that day you walked into the dorm room and you put down that weird piece of wood and put all your records down there and put that weird painting up?" He said, "I thought, oh my God, he's actually settling in here. I got to live with this guy for a year." Well, you know what? The question is, has Jesus really settled in your life? He may not bring a piece of driftwood or some old painting or a bunch of John Fahey records, but he will decorate the walls of your soul with peace and joy and confidence and purpose and security and faith and love. Has he settled down? Is he at home in your life?